Each and every person who has a bank account in the United States should listen to what I'm saying and consider it seriously. I'm talking about bank fraud, I'm talking about Wall Street fraud, and I'm talking about a symposium at George Washington University where I heard Dennis Kelleher speak. And he was the only one of the speakers who I would consider even contacting, because he said he needed help from people who have a lot of experience, and that they should send their resume to his organization, Better Markets. So here it is. This is the resume. Now, let's focus on John Corzine, who ripped off 38,000 customers who had segregated accounts at a banking institution that was supposed to be safeguarding their money in their account at MF Global, which went bust a year ago, October. This is a symposium on October 26th, Friday, 2012. Now, first of all, I don't hear anybody calling John Corzine a crook except me, because he's nothing but a crook. And what happened there was, after he busted out the equity at MF Global, he reached into the 38,000 accounts who were supposedly safeguarded at a bank, and took their money, and thought he was going to recover his big loss at MF Global by using their money, which lasted about a day or two. Okay? Now, I listened to all these people testify under oath before the Congress. I don't know if Dennis Kelleher is completely naive. I believe he's an intelligent person. He's a well-educated person in the law. He worked for Skadden Arps. Now, I've spoken to tons of lawyers who know nothing, I mean nothing, about Wall Street, even though that's their focus, especially the class action lawyers that go after financial fraud. I mean hundreds of them, who know nothing, that take cases that are worthless, even on a contingent basis. Okay? So, let me say this. There are some brilliant people who created this camcorder that I'm making this YouTube on, and the computer and the internet and all kinds of stuff that I couldn't possibly think about, or much less create. So my intelligence and my experience is with criminals, is with economics, is with psychology. Okay? I'm like playing first base, I can't play third base. Now, getting back to crime. Let's focus in on the Sandusky rape at Penn State, who got convicted. So we know that's a crime. We don't have to guess about it. You know, in other words, if John Corzine was convicted, it wouldn't be about probable cause. It would be a conviction in a court of law. So we noticed that Paterno was told by Coach McQuarrie that he actually saw Sandusky raping kids in the shower at Penn State. And Joe Paterno, instead of turning Sandusky in, he went and told the athletic director, the president of Penn State, the college police, but he didn't report it to the law, to the state police in Pennsylvania, or to the local city police where Penn State is located, and have Mr. Sandusky arrested on the spot. for probable cause based upon the actual witness, the Coach McQuarrie. Okay? So this is the way it works in America. This is absurd, but this is how people think. And they look away from criminals. So when I listen to Dennis Kelleher talk about buying bipartisan political power, what that means in simple English is bribery. Bribery is a crime. When I hear Mr. Kelleher talk about $93.9 billion that the bankers ripped off, that's an embezzlement. That's not a bonus. People don't get paid bonuses when they destroy everything under the sun at their job. Okay? So when they destroyed the whole banking system and then took out 93.9 billion because they were empowered to do it and the law let them do it, then that's nothing but an embezzlement. That's not a bonus. When the people who made these, they're not loans. When you take depositors' money and give it to people who you know off the front end, who you advertise off the front end, please hurry up in here. We'll give you money. We don't expect to get it back. We don't care what your credit is. We don't care. We're going to give you these teaser rates so that we can suck you into this deal. And then when we raise the rate, the payment, we're going to kick you out of that house and foreclose and push millions of families, including their children, who had absolutely nothing to do with it, into the street. Those are the victims. Now what about the law? Guess what? We have a little deal called absolute immunity, so that they can actually, they meaning the cops, the prosecutors, can protect the perpetrators, the bankers, and they have absolute immunity. Now I just filed a lawsuit against PIMCO, and bingo, that's step one. Dismiss this case because the CME group have absolute immunity, even though they call themselves a self-reporting organization. Okay? So I am sending the complaint at the Southern District of New York in Judge Swain's court down to Mr. Dennis Kelleher to take a look at. And I'm going to send the answer to this absurd nonsense, is completely unconstitutional, that they call absolute immunity. Is that due process? Is that legitimate under the Sixth Amendment that protects people who have been indicted to get a fair trial? Does that exclude the victims of the criminals who get indicted? No, it doesn't exclude the victims. So this whole idea that absolute immunity protects the perpetrators and screws the victims of their crimes is definitely unconstitutional. So look, we have to deal with that first. And this is what I want Dennis Kelleher to take a look at and to consider if I can help him. Because I really believe he has good intentions. I don't think he's a con man. I don't think this speech that he made there at George Washington University Law Symposium for Economics and Finance was a ruse. But I'm going to find out in a hurry. maybe it was a ruse. Maybe his speech was nothing but a ruse. And that his organization just gloms donations from people who send the money, thinking that he has legitimate intentions. But we'll find that out in a hurry. Because I'm either going to work for him, because I can definitely help him, or he's a phony. Now let me hit one more item when it comes down to this mortgage fraud. The only person in a loan negotiation that has any power is the lender. The borrower has absolutely no power whatsoever. So the idea that the government wanted Americans to own their homes and not rent their homes, and that was the impetus for these bogus, I'm not going to call them loans, because a loan is when you negotiate an amount of money to a borrower who you actually believe will repay the money. And it's not that hard to know that 98, 99% of those borrowers have the ability and the intention to actually repay that money. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a banking system. See? So, I just want this to be put on the table, because I don't hear anybody ever arguing that the whole notion that these bankers were compelled to distribute money to deadbeats who they knew were deadbeats was because the government put pressure, thinking that it would be better for everybody to own a home. Whether any politician actually believes that or not, the point is that if you can't repay the loan, the mortgage, it's not better for anybody. Okay, it's certainly not better for the depositors. It's not better for the taxpayers who ate this mess. And it's not better for anybody except for the scammers in the banks who ripped off the fees, who then sent all this crap over to the rating agencies to get AAA stamped on it so that they could peddle it around the world. Okay? And make more fees. You understand? I mean, this is nothing but a huge criminal conspiracy. It's not misconduct. It's criminal conduct. So, Dennis, we need to start talking about criminal conduct, not Wall Street misconduct. We need to talk about bribes, not buying bipartisan political power. We need to be talking about absolute immunity, which is completely unconstitutional. And we can get something done here, hopefully. Thank you.